I'm Sarah Fatz, and I lead community and awareness at Progress. And this is 10 Minute MarTech.
So somebody said, like, in the old marketing, like, the worst thing you could do is spray and pray. Here in the age of AI, like, what you don't want to do is deploy and annoy all these agents.
That's Scott Brinker, Vice President of Platform Ecosystem at HubSpot and editor at Chief MarTech. Let's get started. So Scott, other than AI, what is your burning MarTech idea, concern, or question right now? What keeps you up at night?
Related to AI, but has been a growing revolution in MarTech here for a while now, is changes in the data layer. And the short version is, right, it used to be that all these different MarTech apps had their own little siloed database, and integrating data between things was just an absolute nightmare. Over the past 5 years plus, we've seen this shift towards more and more cloud data warehouses, lakehouses, and whatnot that are just making it, I'm not going to say easy, but easier for all these different applications across the business to share data. And I think that whole direction is both super interesting, but also has a lot of value to unlock.
So what on the AI side, what does keep you up at night there?
You know what they say, the Spider-Man thing, with great power comes great responsibility. And there's definitely a segment of the marketing world out there that's like, oh, great, well, we've got these agents. We can just set them loose to like email people and call people and text people, and we don't even have to have humans doing it. I think the reaction to that is, as one might anticipate, not going to be, joy and delight on behalf of the buyers. And so I hope we sort of get past that more immature phase of what's possible with agents quickly.
Yeah, you definitely don't want AI agents running amok, right? Causing shenanigans left, right, and center.
Somebody said, like, in the old marketing, like, the worst thing you could do is spray and pray.
Right.
Here in the age of AI, like, what you don't want to do is deploy and annoy
I love
all these agents.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 100%. Are you seeing a good practical application of AI today based, taking that, say, don't, just deploy and annoy. What is working well right now from an AI perspective?
Wow. Well, there's a lot. I mean, on the customer facing side, I think the maturing of customer service agents, so that when someone comes to your website or they're in a mobile app, and they need help, because generative AI has really allowed a lot of these customer service agents to get a lot smarter. If you're plugging into the right data and the right content, I think that's a real benefit for customers. Again, you always want to give people the option to get to a human if they don't feel their needs are being served by the agent. But boy, if the agent can take care of a resolution for me in a matter of, like a minute, that's fantastic. I think on the back end, for marketers, of course, there's a lot of discussion around leveraging generative AI in content production. And I do think it has a role to play in like accelerating both the speed of production and reducing the cost of production, but it's giving more people a wider range of this ability to take ideas and even like prototype them out that previously, now we're going to need to get graphic designers and we're going to need to get a programmer, to like go from the idea of like, I have an idea. Can I even like bring this to life in a way to like, see, is this even credible? I think that is incredibly powerful, and we're just barely beginning to tap that potential.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, though, kind of like don't deploy and annoy, you also have to make sure you're using the tool correctly, right? Because the last thing you want is to create digital waste. You want to make sure you're using it in a way that's providing value back to the business, value back to your customers, and creating content that's interesting, engaging, accurate. Just letting AI run off and do its own thing without that human in the loop, without that human interaction, I think is. Where do you think the role of the human is in all of these things, that you talked about, whether you're talking about the data layer, when you're talking about AI, or just MarTech in general?
It's funny. I did a map of this, of like, where do we spend calories in marketing? And I roughly put it into 3 buckets. There's strategy and creative, which has always been the pinnacle of like, why do people go into marketing? Oh, because of the strategy and creative. But the truth is, for a long time, the amount of calories we could spend really on the strategy and creative was very limited. Most of our calories went into a bucket I would just broadly call production and analysis. Like, it took a lot of work to be able to bring those strategy and creative ideas to life. And then there's a third bucket, where I live and love, the marketing operations and marketing, MarTech capabilities that support that. And to me, what's very exciting about AI is I think it has a lot of value to bring in reducing the cost and the time associated with that production analysis stage. And if we turn around and we use that opportunity to lean in to, the strategy and creative, to run more experiments, to try bold new ideas, and again, it's not like every idea, is a winner, not everyone works. But one of the things about marketing is it's very hard to predict what's going to work in advance, but if you can accelerate this loop of being able to experiment and try new ideas and get that feedback, I think that's actually an incredible competitive advantage. And so I'm hoping, marketing as a whole is really going to take advantage of this moment to say wow, could we take strategy and creative to a whole new level with this new tool set?
When we think about AI today and the output, there are concerns that people have about hallucinations. There are concerns that people have about what kind of information it's providing, and how do we see ourselves surfacing within that world. Can you talk a little bit about your views on SEO and AI agents and AI search today, and how that might be changing the way we think about that content and that production that you're talking about, and the experiments that you're talking about people taking?
Yeah, well, what's interesting about this is you've got AI on both sides of the equation. You've got AI on the seller side that can be used to generate more content. It can be used to dynamically generate content. And again, I totally hear you on, be careful of just letting that thing run loose, but with human supervision and connecting more and more of our data into these engines, you can actually produce some really useful content and information that's available. There's the other side of it, which is, the buyer side. And typically that's what Google appeared to be, right? But it's interesting because over time, I don't know, the whole meme of I read it on the internet, therefore it must be true, is I think society, it sort of matured to a level of the recognition that okay, yes, actually it turns out anyone can publish anything. AIs aren't the only things that hallucinate. Humans seem to have a miraculous ability to, hallucinate all sorts of things. But I think one of the things that excites me potentially about these AI engines on the buyer side is the Google algorithm. At the end of the day, it was, I don't know the full algorithm, but the core algorithm here was let's just keep track of where links are going. And the more sources that get more links, we'll treat that as authority. It was a very useful algorithm for what it was. But, from my perspective, it never went deeper into okay, can I actually cross-check what I'm seeing here? And does it hold true elsewhere? And one of the things that's really fascinating with some of this current generation of these AI assistants and those that are leaning into these deep research, is it can go and not just read one source, but it can be going and looking at multiple sources and cross-checking and cross-validating. And so this is not to say that there aren't still risks in all of these generative AI technologies associated with hallucination. But I think this ability for the reasoning component of these AI engines to actually start to provide a bit of a cross-check, on the validity of information that's out there on the web I think it'll actually be more of a net benefit in helping us find what is real and what is not.
Do you think it's there? Do you think the promise of what that can offer us is here today? Or do you think that there's still more that we'll be seeing and evolving from an agent perspective?
The hype in AI continues to far exceed the actual reality. But I think one of the things that's really different in this current environment compared to anything I've seen before in my career is the time it takes for reality to close the distance with the hype. It's just collapsing a lot faster than ever before. So it's you'll see these things that get produced as oh yeah, this is hype, I can't really do that. I tried it, didn't work that well, and then a few months go by and you're oh wow, actually, this works pretty well now, And so I think on one hand, you have to maintain that skepticism of okay, what's actually real that I can rely on, particularly if you're trying to look at implementing things for your business or things that are going to have an impact on customers. I think skepticism there is a healthy trait. But boy, I don't think you want to fall over the line into this pessimistic view of nothing to see here. It's all hype. There's some article that's passing around on Medium or something like this, you're just a fool if you believe in this AI agent, craziness. I'm well, maybe you're a fool today, but I'm not sure you're going to be a fool 6 months or a year from now. And so keep an open mind.
So let me ask you one more question, actually two more questions. What is your MarTech hot take right now?
We're coming to this time of the year when we publish the MarTech landscape. And we've been doing this now for, my goodness, like 14 years. And every year it grows. And every year people say, oh, that's a terrible thing. This keeps growing. It should just collapse. Like, won't it please consolidate? Please, Lord, make it consolidate. Make the bad chart go away. But my hot take is this is actually a great thing. All these companies out here who are, building these products, they are all competing with each other to be able to serve you as the marketer. And I understand a large, complex landscape, it's challenging to navigate. But if you really pull back the cover of the capitalistic engine that's at work there, it is like this incredible span of entrepreneurship that is all focused on empowering marketers. And so, I don't know, I take a much more optimistic view that, for all the new companies that keep appearing in the MarTech landscape every year, that is a gift to marketing, not a problem.
Awesome. That's a great response. I love that. One last question. Who do you follow for inspiration or information?
So many great people. I would say on the AI side, one of my favorite remains Ethan Mollick, the University of Wharton professor, who just every week covering more things and, helping involved in a lot of academic research around, okay, what's actually really doable with these engines. Great fan of his.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Scott. Always, it's wonderful to talk to you, and I really appreciate the discussion.
Thanks so much for having me, Sarah.
Listeners, thanks for tuning in. To never miss an episode, make sure you like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, I'm Sarah Fatz, and this is 10 Minute MarTech.